All right, turning now to one of the busiest days for holiday travel. Rain across the country is already having an impact on flights.
CBS News senior transportation correspondent Chris Van Cleve live tonight, Los Angeles International Airport. Chris, how's it looking there for travel so far?
Well, Alice, it was certainly a rough start to the day here in the Los Angeles area. Torrential rains that were flooding some parts of the Southern California area. It made just getting to the airport a treacherous drive for many flyers. Pretty well. Only about 81 canceled flights nationwide out of something around 49,000 scheduled flights today. The FAA said that's the most scheduled flights of this holiday travel window. So the airlines are operating pretty well. There are a handful of problem spots. Dallas, San Diego, Seattle, all seeing some delays right now. The weather has started to clear up a little bit here in Los Angeles for the time being. That's welcome news. This is one of the 4 busiest airports for this holiday season, and people have been coming and going all day, as you can imagine, as this is expected to be one of the busiest days leading up to the Christmas holiday.
And you know, Chris, you can't help but think back to the travel meltdown last December that ended in a huge fine to Southwest Airlines. So are the airlines prepared for this? You know, what exactly are they expecting?
Yeah, so the airlines are expecting a potential record number of crowds on several days during this travel period, approaching 3 million flyers potentially today, tomorrow, and in the week after Christmas, between Christmas and New Year's. At Southwest, they have invested heavily in improving their resiliency, both electronically, upgrading the computer systems that really melted down during that whole debacle last year, as well as investing in cold weather equipment in several key airports. The forecast right now looks pretty good for the airlines, so they feel cautiously optimistic. They can build on the success of this Thanksgiving, where they operated at record highs for completion rates. But certainly watching the weather, you've seen all of the airlines hire aggressively over the last 18 months or so. So the staffing picture is different. You also have air traffic control that has made some changes, opening up airspace around the New York City area that might normally be reserved for military operations on peak holiday travel days to speed traffic down south towards Florida. Scott Kirby, the CEO of United, said if the air traffic control environment in the New York City area is working, the rest of the national aviation system will work, and that will lead to a good holiday, provided the weather cooperates. And so far, the weather is cooperating.
We're certainly glad to hear all of that, Chris. What about the best advice this year and tips for people traveling?
Sure. You know, I think the best thing you can do is leave yourself some extra time if you're traveling on some of these peak days. You know, as you get to the airport, particularly if you are flying between, say, 7 a.m. and noon, when the nation's busiest airports are at their busiest points, having that extra time may be the difference between, you know, having to sprint through the terminal and having time to not panic, as you might hit extra time at security. You might see longer lines than usual around Thanksgiving. We were seeing some of the standard security lines at Newark hit 45 minutes or longer. And you don't want to get to the airport if you've got 47 minutes before your flight and then hit a long line.
Yeah, whole different experience when you're early. I've been on both ends of that equation, as we all have, and man, just be early. Great advice. Chris Van Cleve, thank you so much. Live there at LAX tonight, and you can look for Chris's reporting on the evening news tonight. We will have much more on holiday travel here locally coming up on CBS 2 News at 6.